Hello everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel as I, Fonz the Falcon, your returning subscriber. Missed you so very much. If you're new here, well, welcome aboard. And look, the studio is getting some upgrades here and there. If you saw a video a while back, I added the Shea Stadium seats to here. New little things. I have different spots where I want to record if I feel like it changing it up a little bit. Not doing the desk this time, figured sitting on these seats. And you know, this channel, like I said, it's a grab bag of stuff. Top 10s, some random discussions, rankings, and for this one, a review. As you saw my last long form video on this channel, I was doing my thoughts and reactions to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 trailer. Well, I finally got the chance to play the demo, and I'm going to review that demo right now. And side note, I tried doing it with a let's play, like having my face in the camera during it, but my equipment is a little outdated in that. My laptop, the game capture card, but I am looking to upgrade it down the line. So if you have any suggestions, definitely comment and let me know. But for future parts of this channel, I'm going to do some more gaming content down the line that includes some Let's Play stuff too. But I did record some of the stuff from my PlayStation 5, and the captures are from my PS5, so they will be shown on here throughout the entire video. But yeah, just talking about the demo, I did play it for a little bit. I know it's a little bit later, but now I was able to get some free time to play it. Just give some quick thoughts about the menu layout, the gameplay, and just how it overall looks. And overall, like the game, my expectations for it when it's now a little bit less than a month away from it officially being released. But yeah, the demo was only available to people who pre-ordered the game, which is a very weird time because I remember back in the day, demos, you didn't need to pre-order any type of game, but I was going to pre-order the game regardless. Gave me a code for the demo, and that's how I was able to get it. It's really weird. It's a shame that demos now have to be like pre-ordered now, which you don't even see demos as much anymore. But that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But as I'm saying here, I'm talking about the game itself, kind of again, the menu layout and everything else too, but the pictures will be shown up here as well. Now the menu, it's very, very bare bones. You only have a couple options here. The Foundry and College, which are the two starter levels for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 respectively. Then the option of choosing the skaters, which was Tony Hawk himself, Rassia Leal, which I hope I get that name correct, and the Doomslayer. Now, the Doomslayer you can only use if you pre-order the digital deluxe edition. Now, for me, I'm still old school. I do the physical copy, so I did pre-order a physical copy, which, again, I still will ever defend physical copies, which I did order the deluxe edition for the game, so I am going to get access to Doomslayer and everything else, too, but I got to wait for it, which, again, I'm okay with. But you would think getting the code for the pre-order bonus, you would still get that stuff, but again, I'm not really upset about that because I know I'm going to eventually get it. But again, the menu is very simple here. Again, like the two levels here and limited songs, not that many song choices here, but there are some classics from the past games and there's just some new ones on here. I know some people really weren't sure how they felt about the new songs being added, but from the some that were added on here that I've seen in the game, I got to say though, it does kind of fit the mold here of skating with the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series. But I'm going to do have some classics on here like Motorhead's Ace of Spades because that's an iconic song. And again, like the skaters, it is a two options of a classic one in Tony Hawk and the newer one that was just added in Rassia Leal. And you see here, it's a skate shop, very similar to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, but it is more of a modern twist to it. We don't see any Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 stuff like the skate shop and the practice ramp here, which is confirmed it's not going to be on there. But still, I really don't see any Pro Skater 4 stuff here on the menu at least, except for the actual college level. But looking at the skaters, it's very similar to Pro Skater 1 and 2, that remake here. You see the skater options, and you have the different options of outfits, so those outfits are going to be returning, which is nice, and it's a different variety of boards, which again is kind of nice. I did like the different varieties of the pro skaters having different kind of skins they have to use, and also different types of boards. So again, I like the little variety, and I'm glad it's staying there. Even the style of the skater, where they're from, their stance, the Mongo, and all that stuff, to a little bit of the bio. The little details of this game I do like so far from what I'm seeing. There's going to be a ton more skaters in this game, so it's going to be cool to see all of them officially in the game when it launches. But the little bit of the teaser that you see, I'm liking it so far. And of course, the options of seeing of the tricks and the stats points too. Again, very kind of similar setup to Pro Skater 1 and 2, which again is fine, but you know, it's good to see it again. It was good in the 1 and 2. I would have liked to see a little bit of a different change here, but still, I can't complain because the menu does actually look pretty good. Overall, it looks simple and clean, which I'm all for. And again, it's just a demo, so take it as you will. Now let's get into the actual levels itself too. I'll put some gameplay on here and there as I'm talking here. It's very simple with this. You get those two levels like I mentioned, Foundry and College, and it's only a 2-minute session. No free skate, no goals. You're just doing 2 minutes to get a high score. And I gotta say, from playing both of them, they both look really nice and look very modernized and definitely upgraded. Those two levels are the starter points for each of those games, which makes sense to make them in the demo. And I'm actually surprised looking back on that neither of those levels were ever remade for a later game, like in the Underground American Wasteland series. But still, I gotta say, they both look really nice, and the little details are really good. Like in the Foundry level, you're grinding by the lava, and you see the lava kind of spurting out when you go to different parts of grinding in, and the buckets are there, the different rails and the valves. It is a nice Foundry level. It is very reminiscent of the Pro Skater 3 one. And the college campus, I gotta say, it does look really good. It looks a lot better, I think, than in Pro Skater 4, the original one. It's a bright campus, a lot going on, does feel like a college campus, so it is really good. Again, it's both different themes here, and they both look really good. The Foundry is like a darker kind of level, but college is a nice, bright atmosphere. And all the stuff you saw on both levels back in the day are still there. The different barriers, different grindings, and even the parade float makes an appearance in Pro Skater 4, which was nice to see. Now, it is just a demo, but those two levels look really nice, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the other levels look like San Francisco and Alcatraz in Pro Skater 4, and Airport in Los Angeles in Pro Skater 3. Now, we have confirmed that those original levels in Pro Skater 3 and 4 are going to be returning, but we're still not sure yet, and I'm really likely not seeing a chance that we're going to get the Pro Skater 4 secret levels of Carnival and Chicago. And you can also add Oil Rig in Pro Skater 3, which was a secret level for the Xbox exclusive. And I think it kind of makes sense. Chicago was more of a spin-off from Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. I don't know if the licensing from that level could be used for this one too. And Carnival, I'm not too sure. I hope that we can maybe kind of see them in a future update in there too. Again, it's not confirmed they're going to be actually in there, but I'm curious to see if they actually will eventually put them on there. But still, leaving the other ones like London and Zoo and Suburbia, they're all going to be in there, so I am looking forward to it. And even the newer levels like Water Park and Pinball and Movie Studio, different new levels here, which I'm glad they're doing that. I guess the one with Pro Skater 1 and 2, I did like the game, don't get me wrong. I wish they did add a little bit more to it with the monitor, maybe like a new park here and there, but they're making up for it in Pro Skater 3. And I wasn't sure how the 2-minute time was going to work on college level because it is more of a bigger level, because the Pro Skater 4 levels were a little bit bigger, but I gotta say, from those 2-minute sessions, I did still enjoy playing them. Now let's go to the gameplay itself. It really pretty much is very much muscle memory. If you played a bunch of these games like I did back in the day, and when you've been playing Pro Skater 1 and 2 recently on the updated systems, it's like you never left. You're really just going to pick it up and get back into it, and tricking off ledges and rails and whatnot too, spine transfers, everything, reverts, manuals. It's just going to come back to you naturally. You've been playing those games for a long time, which honestly, I like personally. I've been playing those games for so long. It's one of my favorite game series of all time, and I was so hyped when Pro Skater 1 and 2 came back. So to see Pro Skater 3 and 4 with the muscle memory, I'm all for. And really the tricks in the gameplay, again, just overall looks really good. And I have no complaints about it because I think it does look smooth and clean. Now, mind you, it is just a demo, so things obviously could be changing, but I am liking that part of it so far with the level design and the gameplay. And that's one of the pros I would say for this demo that I've seen so far. The layout to me looks very good. The menu, I think, looks very simple, but works really well. And the level designs are really good. So I think the rest of them are going to look really nice. I'm very intrigued to see how those older levels are going to work now on the modern consoles. Now, one of the cons is playing from the demo is that there was no NPCs. There was no Foundry workers at the Foundry level you saw in the past, and overall college students and different people in the college level in Pro Skater 4. It was really just the parade float going back and forth, and just, again, nothing was really on campus. Not a lot of stuff was going on. It was just the overall objects and the Foundry worker. The stuff was moving here and there, but there was no access to, like, the secret portal in the back. No other workers here. But, again, I'm not too worried about that, because it is just a demo. It is just the bare bones. I'm just giving you an idea. So I'm assuming we're going to see those NPCs and the characters being added on to the levels when the game actually comes out. So, like, I'm not as worried as you think. At first I was like, it's like lacking like character as far as like the people in there. But again, it is a demo, so I'm looking forward to seeing that it might be in 3 and 4. Now, 1 and 2 didn't have any. They had the cars and vehicles moving here and there. But again, 1 and 2 didn't have a lot of NPCs, not that I remember back in the early days. Again, it's been quite a while since I played it on the PlayStation 1. Other kind I will say is the bell sounds and voiceovers. It's like a little kind of like a gripe I have with it too. The bell sounds and the voices of the skaters going like, yeah, and whatever too. They do sound the same from Pro Skater 1 and 2. I wish they kind of changed it up a little bit of sounds here and there. I felt that it was a little bit lazy, but again, I'm not complaining about it too much. But again, like little things like that, I wish they kind of changed it up a little bit. Because you saw back in the day with different games coming out, you heard different voiceovers and bell sounds and everything too. But still, a lot of it does sound very similar. Because at the same time, 1 and 2, the remaster, it did work really well. So why not keep for 3 and 4? I just wish they changed a couple things like that. Now, I know another con I will say is the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 career mode, or lack thereof of it. Because you saw 3 and 4 was way different. 3 was basically 2 minutes like in 1 and 2, 2 minutes, do as many goals as you can, and then you reset until you get all the goals. Where Pro Skater 4 was different, where you had to go in open world and you had to go to different characters with icons over the head and do a thing. Where like in 3, you had 2 minutes to do all the goals, and 4, you had to go to a person and say you got 2 minutes to get a high score of, say, 100,000 points. So it looks like for Pro Skater 3 and 4, 4 is going to be the same as 3, where it's going to be a 2-minute timer, and I'm curious to see how that is going to work, because it is a bigger map for all those, particularly Alcatraz, because that was a really large map. How are you going to do all those goals in 2 minutes? Hope they kind of move that well, maybe put them a little bit closer, whatnot, too. And there was also some really good goals in Pro Skater 4, some funny ones. I don't know how they're going to incorporate it in the 2-minute timer. But apparently you can also add a extended timer to the game up to an hour, so you can do all those goals in that hour time frame. So at least they're trying something with that. I do wish they had 3 and 4 kind of separately with that stuff, but again, the gameplay does look really good, and I think I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt where I think it is still going to end up working. So I guess you could say I'm kind of fine with that, adding the extended timer. It's weird because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is like a great game, don't get me wrong, it's one of the more underrated ones, but it was in a weird spot in that Tony Hawk timeline, because you had 1, 2, and 3 with the same format, 2 minutes, as many goals as you can, but then you had Underground 1 and 2 and so on and so forth, doing like a story mode type of thing without like the classic goals. You had the classic mode a little bit in the latter part of the game, but 1, 2, and 3 was a 2-minute timer, whereas Underground 4 was just more of a story-based thing. And 4 is in that middle spot to where they kind of had a story going into different characters and going to different spots, while also doing the classic mode of doing like the skate letters, the high score, doing a trick over a certain gap. So I guess it is kind of hard to kind of incorporate 4 as a standalone and kind of messing it with 3 in this case. But I don't know, I'm not as upset about it as you would think with the lack of a story mode in Pro Skater 4 being in this remake, because I still think it's going to be fine with that extended timer, and I think it's still going to be a fun game to play. But I do hope like Underground 1 and 2, if they choose to remaster in the later ones down the line, they don't stick with the 1, 2, 3 format of 2 minutes, as many goals as you can, because that's where I'll be very disappointed. For 4, I'm a little bit disappointed, but really not as much as like say other people have been on the internet. But overall, like with the demo and the gameplay so far, I'm really loving it. I think it's really good. I'm definitely excited for it. But I will say Pro Skater 3, there's the add-ons and the remaster. It really essentially could have been a DLC for Pro Skater 1 and 2. Don't get me wrong with that. But with Vicarious Vision shutting down, it did halt the stoppage, because there was a rumor going on that Pro Skater 3, the DLC of the levels and stuff, was going to be on the 1 and 2. But still, the developers wanted like a cohesive package of having 3 and 4 kind of similar together. Listen, as long as the levels are still there and some of the goals that we're familiar with in the past are still there, I still think it's going to be a good game. But am I essentially worried about it? Not really. I guess because I've been such a big fan of this game for so long, and I'm happy that it's coming back though with these levels, because Pro Skater 4 had some really good levels. I think the lack of a career mode does hurt a little bit, but still I think they're going to make up for it. I think it's still going to be fine. Now, if the extended timer wasn't added on, it'd be a whole different conversation, but the extended timer, it's going to be fine. Again, I'm not as worried about it, but still overall everything looks great. I think it's a good game, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Let's just hope this eventually does well on sales, that we could eventually get a remaster of Underground 1 and 2. And if, like I said, if the remaster of Underground 1 and 2 happens, and it's essentially going to be Pro Skater 1, 2, and 3 with the 2-minute timer, then this will be a whole different video of a rant. But again, Pro Skater 4 with that add-on, as long as the goals are still there and the extended timer happens, you still have those moments here and there, like in the zoo, kind of letting go of the animals and whatnot. I'll still be fine with it. Essentially, it's just a remaster. So as long as all the stuff from 3 and 4 is still there outside of just the career mode, I'm all for it, but I am curious to see if they're going to add those latter Pro Skater 4 levels and the 3 secret levels like Oil Rig, Carnival, and Chicago. And also the skaters, because it has been talked about like if Mike Valley is going to be in it, because he was an unlockable skater in Pro Skater 4. I don't know if he's going to be in the remaster, but it's curious to see. But at least they added Bam Margera, though. That's a good thing. But let me know what you think of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 demo. Have you got a chance to play it? Let me know down below your thoughts and opinions. And are you looking forward to the game, and do you have some concerns? And as always, you can subscribe to the channel. Like this video, it definitely helps out. I'm doing a lot more stuff on this channel, some grab bag stuff, some top 10s, some reviews, some Let's Plays down the line. We'll get that set up squarely and shortly. And if you like talking sports, uniforms, and jerseys, you can check out my other channel, Fonz Talk Jerseys, where I talk exclusively sports jerseys and uniforms in all sports. You can follow my TikTok and Instagram at Fonz the Falco. Links for all my stuff is down below. But again, thank you guys so much for checking out this little video here talking about the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 demo, my thoughts and opinions. Again, let me know down below what you think about it. Overall, have a good day, good night, good evening, whenever you're watching said video, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.